Well, joining me now is Professor Odekunle, who analyzes what the agenda for the president-elect should look like. Watch. Professor Femi Odekunle, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Well, let's begin now with your assessment of the just concluded presidential elections. What really do you make of the entire process?
Well, I would like to start from the conclusion that all is well that ends well. Nigerians are very happy, at least majority of Nigerians, going by what I've been able to witness, going by what has been on the air. Most Nigerians are very pleased. Of course, there were itches at the beginning, like the matter of the late production of PVCs, the tardiness in the way they were distributed, and of course, it appeared that the ruling party was manufacturing or whatnot, apparently to frustrate the elections. Of course, it's difficult to find any particular evidence, but you can, of course, infer from the first postponement on the basis of security, which could be justified on the basis of later discovery of the deficit in the readiness of INEC. But then there was, again, the matter of whether we use PVC or TVCs. Then, of course, the issues of whether or not there are elections in this place or that place. Even on the day of the elections, in certain areas, it had to be postponed to the next day, which was kind of dangerous. Then, of course, the long delay in the production of the results, the violence in certain parts of the country, particularly in rivers, and then the complaints of people like the governor of Edo State concerning the role of the military in preventing him from moving lawfully in a state. So, but of course, that's not the only instance. I'm saying there are instances, but with all these pre-election ups and downs, the problems on the day of the election in certain areas, at the end of the day, we have a result that is acceptable even to the president of the country.
Does the outcome really send a message to the political class in Nigeria? What sort of message is it sending?
The overall message is that Nigerians are not as docile as people will take them, that they may be quiet. They may go about their business and pretend that they're happy because they say Nigeria is one of the happiest in the world. But that actually they now appreciate their right to change government and their power to do so. And I think that's the message to the political class, that perhaps, and thanks to some of the reforms of INEC, the days in which people will allocate votes the way they wanted, the days in which godfathers will put in office who they wanted, I think the message is that that day is going, if not already gone. And that therefore, it is important that the political class, whenever they get into power, should perform. That incumbency is no longer the panacea for retaining power. You must perform. And I think that's a good message to the political class.
Now, you know something? The national leader of APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, described the victory of the presidential candidate of the APC, he said, as Nigeria's finest moment in its political history. Do you think so?
I would think that Nigeria's finest moment was the election of Abiola. But he was not allowed to assume the mantle of leadership. After that, I could say that this could be considered another fine moment in Nigeria's political history. That is where I will respond to Ashiwaju's classification of the present situation.
Why would you use fine moment?
It's a fine moment because the president-elect has what could be considered adequately fair spread. And to that extent, a good proportion of the country is covered. And if you compare it to previous elections from 99 through 2003 and so on and so forth, you could see that our population, the grassroots, are more involved in this election than others. Perhaps in 2003 to 2007, or even 2011, the feeling was that, well, it doesn't make any difference whether you vote or not. Votes were not counting according to the perception of the population. Whether that was real or not, that's not the issue. That was the perception. But this time, you have to be on the streets. You have to be to see the effervescence, the commitment of people. Take, for example, someone like me. My father is 99 years old. He's going to be 100 by the grace of God this January. Mama in the house is about 88. They went to register. They went to collect their PVCs. And by 6:60 a.m., they were there in my hometown, Ilesha, in Osun State, to vote. Now relate that again down the line of young people. Of course, there's the role of the social media and so on and so forth. But what I'm saying is that all Nigerians were very interested, perhaps more than in 1999, in 2003, 2007, 2011. The only time I could remember in my young age, if you allow me to use that one, is the Abiola's election, when people were really mobilized to actually vote people into power. So to that extent, I would say why I would consider, I mean, Asiwaju has his opinion, but why I would consider that time the finest in Nigeria's history, even though it was not allowed to succeed, I would consider this one another fine moment.
All right, just hold on with that thought. We're still with Professor Femi Odekunle, and of course, we're dealing with issues surrounding the 2015 general elections. Join us after the break.
Fellow Nigerians, I thank you all for turning out en masse for the March 28 general elections. I promise the country free and fair elections. I have kept my word. I have also expanded the space for Nigerians to participate in the democratic process. That is one legacy I would like to see endure. Although some people have expressed mixed feelings about the results announced by the Independent National Electoral Commission, I urge those who may feel aggrieved to follow due process based on our Constitution and our electoral laws in seeking redress. As I have always affirmed, nobody's ambition is worth the blood of any Nigerian. The unity, stability, and progress of our dear country is more important than anything else. I congratulate all Nigerians for successfully going through the process of the March 28 general elections with the commendable enthusiasm and commitment that was demonstrated nationwide. I also commend the security services for their role in ensuring that the elections were mostly peaceful and violence-free. To my colleagues in the People's Democratic Party, I thank you for your support. Today, the PDP should be celebrating rather than mourning. We have established a legacy of democratic freedom, transparency, economic growth, and free and fair elections. For the past 16 years, we have steered the country away from ethnic and regional politics. We created a pan-Nigerian political party and brought home to our people the realities of economic development and social transformation. Through patriotism and diligence, we have built the biggest and most patriotic party in Nigerian history. We must stand together as a party and look to the future with renewed optimism. I thank all Nigerians once again for the great opportunity I was given to lead this country, and I assure you that I will continue to do my best at the helm of national affairs until the end of my tenure. I have conveyed my personal best wishes to General Muhammadu Buhari. May God Almighty continue to bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I thank you all.